Even though Sindel has forgiven Li Mei, she still does not trust Liu Kang.
She squints.
So Liu Kang brings them to the flesh pits to prove everything.
I have so misjudged that.
Yes, I play as Sindel. Oh, that's cool.
While this proves Shang Tsung and friends are traitors to the throne, Liu Kang still wants to reveal the truth about his creation of the universe to them. And this is where Geras shows up. I like how stunned the royal family look. And Li Mei just looks completely unfazed. And Tanya could give less of a shit. Kitana also gives a very delayed nod. Then Geras summarizes the plot of Mortal Kombat 11.
MK11.
Tinkering with lives and events in the hope of achieving the golden balance.
Kronika was obsessed with creating a universe with the golden balance, and when a timeline was either too good or too evil, she would restart history and try again.
You, Sindel, were his ruthless.
They're showing this!
I love how after showing Twindel embracing Shao Kahn's pecs, it just cuts to current Sindel in absolute disgust. Melina even shakes her head in disappointment. Then Liu Kang took down Kronika and vowed to do a better job than her. After this huge revelation is revealed to everyone, Li Mei and Tanya just walk up to them nonchalantly, like that was just a normal day conversation. They are the I don't give a fuck queens. Liu Kang then says how he made the villains of this timeline weaker.
Meaningless lives.
Yet they all somehow became evil again.
Shao, Shang Tsung, Quan Chi, all have been groomed by an unknown entity to be
Perhaps
produced
actually groomed because this
in
person's like
previous
thousands of years old. Ha 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 ha.
Sindel asks why Liu Kang gave up the power of all creation. And Liu Kang says he saw how that power drove Kronika mad, and thus he relinquished it. But I feel like there's a more personal reason as to why he gave up being a titan. And I'll get into that later on.
Somebody!
Sindel advances.
You what?
Sindel advances.
I don't mind.
Either do I.
You bitch.
Thanks to you, Earthrealm blood is already on my hands. Bloodshed, without cause or provocation.
I know Sindel declared Earthrealm their enemy after chapter 4, but this implies they've killed innocent Earthrealmers. What exactly have you done off screen? General Shao then pulls out a Glock.
He's pulling his cock out!
I mean, Shinnok's amulet.
It should not exist. Its maker is powerless, as Liu Kang designed.
So Shinnok has also been nerfed in this timeline.
Meaningless lives.
And I have a crazy theory. There's this mysterious character known as Raiden's sister, and many believe her to be a gender-swapped Fujin, or she could even be Cetrian. But what if it's a gender-swap Shinnok? You know what, never mind. I don't want NRS to get this idea.
It should not exist.
General Shao activates the device. Some people are caught, while others are able to dodge it. Then an all-out brawl begins. Sindel fights Nitara, and thankfully, from here on out, Megan Fox doesn't have any more lines.
Praise Argus.
Sindel wins. Liu Kang then explains that the people trapped in the amulet can still be saved.
I have to break your neck. It's just the way it is. I'm just a messenger.
Li Mei saves them. Sindel grabs the amulet, and they escape.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that? Bitch,
They run to Shang Tsung's laboratory to continue the fight, and here we get one of the hardest lines in this entire game.
Hi,
I'm
Reiko.
surprised that you are party to Shao's treason. Know that it will cost you your—
What is that?
They did patch this out eventually, but I will never forget the influence MK12148154111 had on my life.
this shit means something to me, man.
She fights Reiko. Wasn't this guy just defeated and thrown into jail in the last chapter?
My turn. You think you're so funny, eh, Reiko? I'm a good guy now, by the way.
She beats up Reiko, and then she fights Rain.
Your betrayal hurts most, Rain. I thought of you as a son.
Aww, sad. Very sad.
This is such a sad interaction, though it would have been better if we knew anything about the character Rain. In fact, let's just do this here. Let's break it down. Rain. Rain was the High Mage of Outworld, but Shang Tsung promised him more power, so he's now a bad guy again. and he is as jobber as a jobber can get. The funny thing about Rain is that even though he's a nothing burger in the current timeline, it's actually not that much of a downgrade compared to his old counterpart. In the old timeline, Rain is a demigod bastard son of Argus, and claims that he is the rightful heir to Edenia. He is also extremely arrogant.
He became an elite but arrogant fighter named Rain.
Once I have defeated you, I will find and kill your brother as well. Then I will claim the prize.
My intentions are to teach you the difference between pretension and godhood.
So what's your problem with Earthrealm?
All of its denizens are beneath me, woman.
And the award for most pretentious prick goes to...
He claims to be the Prince of Edenia. Talks shit.
I am a son of Argus. I was not merely declared a god by befuddled commoners.
And then proceeds to go out like a wimp. That's all. That is his entire character for the last 30 years. I've always loved Rain's aesthetics and abilities. The cool water ninja. But whenever he opens his mouth,
I am a god.
I always find him to be kind of pathetic. Jump cut to M1K. And now he's much more calm, stoic, shows more confidence. Kind of reminds me of Eren Black, but ultimately kind of boring too. So you either have annoying arrogant brat, or stoic boring man. Pick your poison. I guess the last thing I'll talk about with him is the mage aspect of this character. A lot of people prefer when he was a water ninja, including me. But I actually do think him being a pure mage is still really cool. There aren't that many fighting game characters who purely use magic as their combat skills. So I'm really happy to see how hard they commit to Rain just using water for 99% of his moves. Sindel wins.
You are forever dead to me.
Sag. Rain can't get a redemption. No, Jackie! Ah!
Then she fights General Shao. Since Reiko is his Kamiya fighter,
Bold.
he currently is only pretending to be defeated.
Unfair advantage.
You wouldn't dare attack a queen!
Maybe I forgot to mention something to you. I don't believe in queens.
Sindel spanks General Shao and ends the mutiny. And since this is the last time we see General Shao, let's break it down. General Shao. Shao Kahn is one of the biggest villains in video game history, so seeing General Shao in this new timeline is quite the drastic change. And it's a change Liu Kang specifically targeted.
So in this timeline, Shao would be your loyal follower.
It's also hinted that Liu Kang made him sickly and weak, so that he wouldn't be a threat in his new timeline. But General Shao defied fate, and still became the big bad tyrant we all know and love again. However, I don't think that's entirely true. Shao Kahn is a conqueror. He conquered realms just to expand his empire and power. General Shao, however, genuinely seems to care about the well-being of Outworld. He despises Earthrealm, and finds Sindel working with them repulsive. General Shao isn't working with Shang Tsung for evil intentions. He genuinely believes he's doing this for the greater good of Outworld.
Let us make Outworld great again!
This is probably the most interesting aspect about General Shao's character. Sadly, this character falls flat for one major issue. And it's actually an issue to Act 3 of the story mode in general. There aren't enough villains on the roster. Before the game came out, I was loving the roster we got in M1K, but I was also starting to get concerned about it too.
As of right now, our whole entire roster, we don't have a lot of bad guys.
True.
You go to MK9, like half the roster is bad guys. But in this game, it's like, okay, who's gonna be the jobber? Who's gonna get beat up? I see Rain. I think Havoc. and then, yeah, maybe Baraka, but like, is that it?
I see Rain.
I'd say the roster is split into 3 categories. The good guys, who are mostly made up of Earthrealmers, neutral, Outworlders who aren't with the good guys, but will eventually side with them, and then the bad guys. In Act 1 and 2, the game takes its time to introduce and develop characters throughout the story, and thus it gives more interesting scenarios for fights to happen, instead of just a simple good versus evil plot.
I feel like it's not necessarily, oh, good versus evil, Earthrealm versus Outworld. It feels like a lot of allegiances. You got the Lin Kuei, you got the...
Which is more cool anyway.
Yeah. And then, because they disagree, they fight. Not necessarily because you're evil, I fight. That's how I'm kind of...
You wear different colors than me!
That's the reason.
But everything changed when Act 3 happened. Other than Chapter 10. You only fight the bad guy group in the roster. And things start to get really repetitive here. You've already fought some of these guys in Act 2. Well, get ready to fight the same 8 characters again. And again. And again. Previous NRS games had you fight goons too. But those games had more villains on the roster. So you don't fight the same characters too many times. Plus, even though I don't like revenants, they do help allocate the jobber economy. In M1K however, if we count Kamiya fighters too, Rain gets beat up 4 times. Reiko loses 5 times.
His amulet gave it.
This game shows a lot more love to characters who are jobbers in the previous timelines, but the only way they can do this is by making new jobbers who job the most jobbiest job in the franchise.
Josh.
An advice I would give to help with this issue is oddly something they already did in this game, but they never used it again. In Chapter 2, during Johnny Cage's movie shoot, you don't actually fight Nitara and Havik. You fight Klima and Katara Vala. In Chapter 5, you don't fight Baraka. You fight hybrid Tarkatans and a super Tarkatan. Instead of beating the same person over and over again. How about beating up someone with the same moveset but with a different name? This will make the original character seem a lot less pathetic. There's literally factions in Outworld that are a perfect setup for this. The soldiers wear the same outfit as their leaders. So instead of Reiko being beat up 5 times, have it so it's just a random soldier who fights the player. Instead of it being General Shao all the time, have it so you fight a big brute instead. And this all leads back to General Shao. He was forged into the perfect soldier. He has won countless wars in Outworld. He is supposed to represent the strongest might Outworld has. And yet he loses 4 times.
It's official. You suck.
I get losing to Raiden. The entire first act was building up General Shao up as the final boss of the tournament. But Saizoth and Qi Liang defeat him too. And even the Queen defeated the strongest soldier of Outworld too. This is why I made that joke every time General Shao loses.
And just like that, I'm the champion of Earthrealm. And there we go, the 3rd Earthrealm's champion. Congratulations, Sindel, you also won your own tournament.
Overcoming General Shao is supposed to be a great feat, but that achievement is lessened when he loses again and again and again. This clip from my MK9 video summarizes it perfectly, so let me be clear. I don't mind when characters lose in the story mode, but when you're trying to set up a strong character in your narrative, especially when he's the final challenge of Mortal Kombat, I don't think you should use them so often for fights. Each of their losses make them feel weaker. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with losing, but when you're setting up the final challenge of Mortal Kombat, and this champion has never won a fight in this story mode, that ain't it, chief. So in the end, it doesn't matter how badass General Shao is supposed to be in the story. I can't take him seriously with how many losses he takes. Which ironically is also how I felt about him in MK11. Before aftermath of course. Now, a funny thing to mention. The 2 little villains on the roster issue actually will get resolved later on. But it's not for a reason you guys are going to like. And I'll explain more about it when we get there. After General Shao's defeat, Liu Kang releases the captured people from the amulet. And now they are off to Earthrealm to save the universe.
Is that the command of my creator?
Are you trying to dominate me?
And that's pretty much Chapter 11. Welcome to the Double ID, interesting intro dialogues, where we look at character intro dialogues to gain more information about the current chapter we're on. Rain may have turned evil, but there were some redeeming qualities to him.
I knew nothing of Shang Tsung's laboratory.
You aided Shang Tsung's experiments.
I thought we were trying to cure your disease.
Sindel knew the great Kung Lao.
Could I have? I would have saved your storied ancestor.
You were there when he died?
Chapter 11 was just a recap of MK11. And then a couple of fights. It's kind of meh. So I saved the most interesting topic for last.
Sindel.
Let's break it down. Sindel. All NRS has to do to make us happy is to not make her evil. And it turns out she's not evil.
My past iteration sounds like a screeching harpy.
Many are thankful for the changes I made.
Instead of pulling an NRS, They finally gave us a good guy Sindel after we've been asking for this since MK9. But let's dive more deep into this character. On the outside, she is a kind-hearted ruler who wants the best for everyone. But behind the scenes, she is stern and ruthless and will do whatever it takes to maintain her empire, especially for her daughters. Something interesting about Sindel that I don't think people really talk about is just how brutal she truly is. I describe her as cruel and racist for the greater good. Yes, those exact words. Her marriage to Jared was only formed to placate a rebellious region. The Umgadi are an order of warrior priestesses with their own culture and religion, and they were specifically formed to protect the royal family. It says a lot about your empire if you need to create an entire clan just to protect the royalty.
Outworld must see much conflict if the Empress needs such protection.
Sindel may have started the golden age of peace, but she had to fight in wars and conquered lands to maintain it. And the worst thing she's done, in my opinion, is doing a terrible job of handling the Tarkatans.
This was one of my mother's few mistakes. Like all Outworlders, she treated Tarkatans with scorn.
I won't let Tarkat spread unabated.
Herding us into ghettos isn't the answer.
There are limits to everything, Baraka. Your Tarkatans are given enough to survive. Why do you call me a hypocrite?
Onto the xenophobic part. If you're not purely an Outworlder, Sindel might look down upon you.
You will find no Zaterrans. Warmbloods don't welcome us.
I won't allow Earthrealmers into my inner sanctum.
Discontent is brewing in the northern cantons.
As it has for centuries. Pay it no mind.
Having Tarkat isn't a moral failure.
No, but it does evidence a lack of care.
And look, we all hate Nitara, but Sindel hates her on another level.
You're no better than Shang Tsung's monstrosities.
If you would just let Veternus be.
I would rather watch it die. I won't weep if your race dies. Just being in your presence soils me. Veternus won't feed on Outworld, Harpy.
He's already dead.
All this to say, I do like seeing this darker side of her. She's a flawed person. She makes mistakes, and it makes her actions feel more real. Even if she's cruel, she truly believes what she's doing is for the greater good of Outworld. But now for something completely unforgivable about Sindel. Her shitty outfit. I want you to close your eyes and try to picture a queen. Someone with power and status. The most important person in the country. Now look at Sindel. This is genuinely one of the worst outfits in Mortal Kombat history. And it gets worse the more you look at it. Let's analyze this outfit from different angles. Is it trying to be regal? She wears this outfit during ceremonial occasions. But nothing on this outfit looks really noble. You can see a more royalty version of Sindel in the portrait with King Jared. But I suppose that wasn't what they were trying to do with her default outfit. Okay. Then maybe they were trying to make it more combat orientated. In MK9, Kitana had a more sexy royal princess design. But in MK11, they changed it to be more of a combat suit. So maybe Sindel is more inspired by that.
Even though she's a queen and not an assassin.
Whatever. There's still a lot of problems with this outfit from a combat efficiency standpoint. Why so many belts? High heels? Okay, to be fair, that's more of an NRS issue. This might explain the random metal plates on her outfit. Maybe they're there for protection. But these are some really random placements. Her arms, her chest, her feet, and her head. That's all. Wow. Such good protection. I hope this pays off in the future. Okay, I have another big pet peeve here. I hate this stupid headpiece. It makes her look dumb. And it's her default design. I just want to take it off.
Don't make me go over there and rip it off myself!
The game's been out for almost 2 years, and I still can't take it off. She never wears it in the story mode, so why am I forced to pick a shitty mask for her to wear?
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Okay. Maybe all these weird design choices is supposed to invoke some type of sex appeal. When I first saw Sindel's reveal trailer, I was shocked to see how much skin she was showing on her legs. Wait. Zoom in. That's not skin. That's just beige fabric. Why? Why would you cover the costume with beige coloring? It looks disgusting. Thankfully, you can swap the base coloring by changing her color palettes, which makes it look a million times better. Who the f has such terrible fashion sense? She's not regal. She's not combat focused. She's not sexy. But maybe she's trying to be all the above?
Oh wait, you're serious.
It doesn't work. But you know who does look regal, combat ready and sexy? Her daughters. And they look great. Heck, even MK11 Sindel has all three qualities. And she looks fantastic. M1K Sindel tries to do this, but she just looks like AI generated crap. I can go on about more details. Her eyes not being white. Her plain boring hair. But I think I got my point across. There are so many fan redesigns and fixes. Every one of her old costumes are better. Every previous version of her looks better. This is the kind of bad that impresses me. And it should be banished to the void.
It should not exist.
Sorry. That turned into a tangent that had nothing to do with the story mode. Overall, good character. Shit outfit.
You thought you ate that? Bitch, you...
Maybe I forgot to mention something to you.
Stop right there, criminal scum! You violated my mother.